draft for this first game, the best of three series, and find out exactly how this one's gonna go down.
You know, this series is gonna affect the loser a lot more than you would think, because I'm not sure if there's any more events coming up right before the international, but going out in last place, the first one eliminated amongst 8 TI teams, you know, it's gonna put a big dent into your confidence in your team. There's a very high chance the loser's gonna implode.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it's scary, very, very scary to be in this situation, and one of them has to be in that situation.
It can also do wonders for you, right? If you think that you're really good, and then you play this tournament and you get kicked out first, suddenly you get that reality check that might have been necessary. But what am I saying? I agree with T-Ben. Like, usually what happens...
I mean, what you're saying is true, but it's like a very small chance, right?
Very, very
it
small.
Goes the other way. Usually, most of the time, people implode.
Exactly. Especially in Dota, you know, we are not emotionally... emotional IQ among players is not the highest. Game IQ definitely is. But when it comes to controlling... equanimity. When it comes to equanimity, we're really not the best.
I always say that teams, they don't need to change rosters. What they really need is like a team psychiatrist.
Yep.
You know, that's what they need, because mostly all players, they play just as many hours as each other, and they're just as skilled as other individuals. It's all about the mentality at the end of the day.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, OG had a team psychologist for TI9, right?
They're doing it right.
Yep. It's an important thing to have, folks. It's 2021. Get your players mentally ready for the biggest challenge of their life.
Undying isn't ready for this series, even, it looks like, because they're...
Oh, wow, 50 seconds.
Yeah, they chewed through all of their time for the first two picks.
Wow. Okay, guys, you took this long to draft Omni's... Oh, okay, they go Omni-Lash track, fine. Okay,
Omni-Lash.
I'll forgive them.
I mean, it's still good, right? Omni-Sven or Omni-Lash, I can't... Omni-Sven probably a little bit better, but Omni-Lash is just as amazing.
Mm-hmm. Makes me think, did they not expect Avenge to be first picked, or did they not have confidence in this opening? Because that is a lot of time. Normally, when you have the night to be able to plan, what your opening and stuff is, like you're going through the draft so quickly, and this is an elimination game too. So for sure, they spent hours planning this out.
I would say, and I would guess it was the former, because they probably expected Collapse to be playing one of these bulky boys up front, the Marses, the Beastmasters, Axes, these kind of guys. So maybe they didn't really expect an offlane Venge, if this even is an offlane Venge. Because usually it's a Collapse, the front line, and then Mira is playing these Miranas, Rubiks, Lions, whatever. They go with the Venge Clinks.
Yep. Do you want a stat, Lizard?
Gimme. Hit me with that stat.
How about me? I don't get the stat?
No, this is stat. This is Lizard's stat. This is for him.
Just for
my
me.
little angel.
Exclusive stat.
Yeah, don't listen.
Close my ears.
Thank you. Venge and Clinks have been picked together 7 times, of which they have an 85% win rate. So 6 out of 7 games is won.
Only 85? Nah. What is that? Rookie numbers.
Jesus. That's a lot.
Yeah, this is a scary one. This is a
So the thing is, let me take a quick look. Like, Clinks gets base damage, right? From his ultimate.
Yes, I believe so. I don't know, actually.
Yeah. So the Vengeance Aura adds a lot of damage onto Clinks, and then that adds on to his barrage damage. So it kind of makes sense.
What you're trying to say is that they are a sick combo, right?
They are a wicked sick combo. I mean, just trying to make sense of like why they have such a high win rate together. Their synergy is just all there. Plus, you got the minus armor, which Clinks benefits from too.
Of course,
it's like the perfect hero for Venge to actually buff up.
Plus the save, right? You always have a hero that can swap you out, and Clinks hates being caught. He hates being the one that's jump on, and Venge kind of allows him to be a little bit more bold, a little bit bolder in team fights as she can move him.
It's already hard to try and catch Clinks in team fights because he shows up for a very few seconds and then he invis up and gets away. And then if you have to think about the Vengeful Spear swapping and then chasing him down too, it's really rough.
There is most of the times we have seen the PL band out versus the Clinks. Today we've seen what was it, the Lycan as well, that worked quite well. So maybe one of these two are on
the
Undying's
Nature's
mind.
Prophet.
Or the
I
Prophet.
like that one.
Prophet
I think,
Spectre, right? Like amazing.
Yeah, that was one of the better heroes in the past as well against Clinks. I know you got the Barrage now, but you can't really be spamming Barrage in the laning stage. So you got these Treants that are constantly denying your creeps and running after you, and they can dive your tower. That's when Clinks is kind of weak.
Also,
early laning stage.
Remember that Undying did lose to Clinks already. So they played versus this. And they lost, if my memory serves me well, with the Naga. They were PL was banned, Terrorblade was banned, and then they decided to go with the last illusion hero, which was Naga. That didn't really work out that well versus PSG LGD. Maybe they probably watched. So Prophet, for me, yeah, I like it. Versus Venge, versus Clinks, versus both of these heroes, it's pretty good.
Do you think Illusion Heroes still counts Clinks despite the changes to Barrage? Or the
I feel like
Barrage?
PL is the best, probably. These other ones like TB and Naga, I'm not quite sure.
Skeptical, yeah. I think Fatal Lance is great still. And we might actually see it in this game because Omni is going to be running around protecting a Leshrac for the most part with the Heavenly Grace. And look at Team Spirit's bans. Like when you leave this Omni in the pool and they get it and they don't pick the Sven right away, they're like kind of forced into banning Sven. Then there's the Slark, and then there might be a bunch of other heroes that you can still pick up with this Omni too.
5 seconds remaining.
Such an annoyance. You just don't want to place yourself in the situation where you have to fight into these combos with the Omni Knight. It's crazy. So they will get rid of that Beastmaster as well. Thrown in the bin, they'll ban at the Pangolier, and they'll grab themselves a Monkey King. Okay.
So this is very similar to the game against LGD versus T1, where they had this Monkey King and flexed it, and there's Avenge in the game. So if Team Spirit do decide to still pick an offlaner who is going to be a melee hero, then they can just put the Monkey as a core. If not, we might just see Moon Meander playing this Monkey King. They got the last pick too.
We had a Monkey King versus Avenger today, didn't we? Yeah, T1 versus LGD game 2.
Yeah, it wasn't
game 3.
Yeah,
game 3, sorry, yeah.
I think it's like always when an ancient person, okay, a little bit of that ultimate with the Faceless Void, good 1-2 combo, also decent versus Monkey and Omni Knight.
Oh, so Clinks mid with Faceless Void, Apparition safe lane. Interesting. So we were talking about this as well the other day about picking a combo when you have a first pick
5 seconds
in the second phase. Just pick a combo together, and there it is.
Yeah, this just makes me feel like Nature's Prophet is very solid. Again, like versus Ancient Apparition versus Faceless Void, I don't think you care that much. The Gleipnir build would be very good. And you could still go for the Spectre even. Maybe not. A bit too greedy with the Monkey King 4 on Knight 5.
I feel like Undying have a chance to outpace Team Spirit here quite dramatically. Like, Team Spirit have picked slow heroes. Venge, Clinks, maybe the Clinks isn't that slow, but still, I mean...
To go with the Lycan.
At last.
I like this. I love this. Yeah, Undying just step up to the plate and say, hey, man, you want to draft some big, long cooldowns, some farm-dependent heroes? Fine. We'll take our Lycan and we're going to run at you.
This is perfect. It's so good. These wolves are extremely annoying for Apparition. You have summons you can chase down Venge, Clinks with. I guess you won't really be killing them, but you can put a lot of pressure on them. And like you said, taking the objectives. When Faces Void, he's strong, and then around 10 minutes to like 17 minutes, he's really weak because he needs to farm. And if he uses one chrono, and then he goes back to farming. And during that downtime, that's when Undying is looking to just destroy everything, destroy all the towers. And when you have Lycan and Leshrac with Omni on your team, I don't know how you're going to defend these objectives.
You can't afford yourself too many
10
mistakes if you're Team
seconds
Spirit.
remaining.
Like you're playing versus extremely tempo-oriented
5 seconds
kind of a
remaining.
lineup on the side of Undying, and if you miss one chrono, not even one or two, if you miss one of those early chronos, it can go real bad real fast. And we've seen that, actually. We've seen that today. You can see that they kind of prepared for it on the side of Team Spirit. They banned out the Beastmaster, but maybe they just weren't as worried about Lycan. He kind of fits the same role. He
10
does a very
seconds
similar
remaining.
build and does a very similar thing.
5 seconds remaining.
I love it. I love how these teams, like, they're watching these games, right? The other people are playing, because they're all in the same boat. They're still trying to figure out the patch, what works and what not. And then when they see something that's like super OP, and they're like, oh, wow, this is incredible. Like when 33 was playing Lycan earlier. And now we're starting to see the Lycans. Like yesterday, we didn't see a
10
single
seconds
one.
remaining.
We didn't see anyone this morning. And all of a sudden, in the last 2 series, we've already seen 2.
5 seconds
And then we're going to
remaining.
keep seeing this trend.
But it
Especially if,
was
like,
banned yesterday, right? That's something that it was
I
banned
think
quite a bit.
Beastmaster was banned almost majority of the games in the second phase, but not so much Lycan.
Yeah.
Okay, so they need the last pick here, and they have to figure out a way to deal with all the push, all the Lycan plus Leshrac shenanigans. If you go for... Wait, we're thinking
Underlord?
Klinks is
10
mid, right?
seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Are we thinking then
Yes.
that Venge is offlane? We are. So they need a
5
4.
seconds remaining.
You're asking a lot out of a position 4.
It might be just a 4 Venge here. I think they need to pick
Yeah.
another team by
Underlord.
anchor. They can't afford to have Venge.
Oh my god.
At least it's someone who can go in for you, right?
Yeah, he
I mean,
certainly
exactly.
does
At least
that.
they got-
Doesn't do much else, but
That's the problem now, because the Spearbreaker is not really a good team fighter into Undying's heroes either. So there's a lot like relying
10
on this
seconds
apparition to
remaining.
pretty much hit every single ice blast
I-
and have a lot of
5
impact with the
seconds remaining.
Spearbreaker, ulti and charge. Oh, this is looking rough for Spirit, man.
I don't think it's looking very rough, but it's looking very CIS, my friend. I don't think I've seen a more CIS draft in my life. Like this is, yeah,
the Vi.
exactly.
You may now
Full
select
Davai
your
right there.
heroes.
And they go with some classic Moon Meander Mirana. He's outperformed every single Mirana we've watched in this tournament so far.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need a Bane. I'm gonna just arrow this charging Spirit Breaker. I'm gonna arrow this skeleton walking Clinks. Don't worry about it.
They
Don't really have
stuns,
that much
right?
setup though, right?
Yeah, no, not a lot of. Yeah, you read my mind.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a different pick than Mirana, and I would have had
Same.
even more confidence in Undying. Like, I still think their draft's legit, but the Mirana kind of just came out of nowhere.
This
for
needs
me
to
at
be
least.
some Blink Yules Mirana or something similar, right? You need
Well,
some setup.
Bryle will buy one, I guess, like
Yeah.
with his Yules.
Yeah, that as well.
Maybe Saberlight just gets the net creep and sets up for Mirana like that. Still not an ideal situation to be in for sure. I'm not utterly convinced on this Mirana pickup, but Moomiander just loves this hero. You know what Team Spirit were doing here? They're like, we'll pick the Spirit Breaker. Now you guys have to pick Undying because we're Team Spirit and you're Team Undying. But Undying weren't playing that game, so now Team Spirit are just in an awkward situation.
So they broke the contract that they had before the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the bro code's been torn up and thrown on the floor. Guys, I'm getting the sense that you're both leaning towards Undying for this one. Am I correct?
I was before the last pick, really. I'm
Yeah.
not completely sold. This went from 60-40 into me leaning towards Team Spirit a little bit, actually.
I think they have a lack of setup on the side of Undying, and that's gonna be a problem because making rotations is gonna be so much harder for them now. That being said, though, I'll lean a little bit still towards the Lycan because I think that hero is insane, and this Lycan Leshrac might just be able to do it.
Who needs setup when you've got a hero that just runs at 99 miles per hour and kills you anyway? I think I'm going to go for the Undying as well, but let's find out what our casters have to say about this game. It is Mofar, and it is B-Cup.
Thank you, Nomad. I don't have anything to say about this game. You guys could take it back. Okay.
You haven't got anything to say at all?
No, nothing.
Well,
I'm speechless.
I'm going to take over then, because
Okay.
I know the panel earlier was saying about how they were really looking forward to T1 versus LGD, but this is the series that I was personally looking forward to the most. Mainly because I think Undying had a great performance yesterday against LGD, even though they ended up losing. And I'm really interested to see if they can keep up that like hard work and like progress through the lower bracket. Because I think after watching them yesterday, they have the potential to be like a top 3 team easily. Like, I also agreed with the panel that I think this Mirana pick last. Not kind of what they needed as much. I agreed the lack of catch is going to come back to hurt them, especially against this like Clinks and Void and things. When this Venge swap is always just sat behind as well, that catch is going to be really important. But looking forward to seeing Mumianda Mirana again. Like we've said, he always manages to find farms, so...
We'll see how much farm he can find. He's moved around the map in the past, and he's taken out those siege creeps, takes out the big creeps from the jungle camps. It's interesting to see what he's going to go for. Maybe we'll see an early Yules from him, have that extra bit of lockdown to line up these arrows.
Yeah, I think the Yules is going to be key on Mirana this game.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good like Vessel game as well, for example. It's alright, but... Yeah, here come the Wolves. Miposhka's like literally worst nightmare this whole game.
And now we're seeing Miposhka on the Ancient Apparition, where in the past we've seen him on Disruptor and Bane, 2 heroes that he played with a lot of proficiency. Ancient Apparition, yeah, you need to land that Ice Blast, but we've seen him top-notch with those other 2 supports, and now it's time to see him here with the AA and see how much he can really get done. And it's going to be tough in this lane with both these, Wolves and Mumiander hitting away at him when they've got the opportunity to do so. And we already saw Mumiander take the range creep with the arrow, so a little bit of that prowess with the arrow already showing from Mumiander.
He's trying to line up the angle here to hit the creep again as well, but Lane is going to push in towards the Radiant side, and now Lycan should be able to drag the lane back himself as well.
My question is, yesterday Spirit went with the 3-position Spirit Breaker. This time they're going with the Venge. Do you think either or would be better or just about even for Spirit if they switched maybe the Spirit Breaker to 3 and the Venge to 4?
With the Spirit Breaker to 3, I think the lane would have been much harder. So, and then we were talking about this earlier. Do you remember when the Night Stalker was the position 3 in the other series? I think, again, if you play Spirit Breaker 3, I think the lane's going to be really difficult.
Harass back and forth over in the bottom lane. Meander with the arrow. Grab him 46 gold once again.
I think Mumianda doesn't have a sentry to unblock the big camp as well, which I think is a bit of a worry for this Mirana. I think he tried to put it down and missed the sentry.
Yeah, just out of range. Ends up just out of range. That Radiant Sentry is on the corner. And now, Miposhka, I believe he was trying to unblock that camp. He's done so. So yeah, so he gets the stack on that camp, ready for his pull. And of course, Mumiander's moved over, has that stack, kills the big satyr, and continues to move back towards bottom.
Almost has the urn on the Mirana as well.
A tithe to the impurities.
We'll still get this pull off with the stack, with Mumiander trying to disrupt it.
Well, and that's the thing, when the Mirana goes away to go and hit arrow these big creeps and things in their own bot jungle, it means that AA is able to then stack the camp and just freely get the pull off. So, you have to question in the end whether it was worth it or not. Is this Void now freely farming under his tower? I mean, all 3 lanes are going okay for Undying, right? But
I will say he does get the pull off, and that does allow Yatoro to get the farm under his tower. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Saberlight got most of those. Charge coming all the way through on a Brile. He needs to be careful. He just gets up into the high ground. Moomiander coming over, looking for the arrow. That's going to split the seams, and now Brile's in trouble. But instead of running and continuing to right-click, Toronto Tokyo goes to the Burning Barrage. Doesn't land on a Brile. They land the stun. They'll get the first blood, and that is the opposite of the way Team Spirit want that to go.
Two-legged abomination.
You got to point to the inside of your elbow every time he spams that. He spammed it a lot yesterday.
Yeah, like if you look at the CS across the board, Undying going to be very happy. They also get the first blood as well. All of a sudden, they're 1k net worth up. They can't really pressure this Monkey King too well. Like this really strong high armor hero against the Venge doesn't really get clicked out of lane easily.
No sorceries avail.
They don't exactly have the damage to kill off the Omni either if they're not getting these bashes, and even then he's got the Purification as well as the Heavenly Grace, so the bash barely lasts that long. Neither does the Magic Missile, so like the lockdown's not exactly sufficient enough for them to get a kill.
So Undying living up to my pre-series expectations so far. Team Spirit, I think, I can't remember which one of them on the panel said this, I think it was Lizard, that Team Spirit looked okay yesterday, right? But they didn't fill me with huge amounts of confidence. So,
Right.
And I also agree with Theben that whoever loses this series is going to feel really bad. They're both teams that have high aspirations. You know, they want to try and prove the doubters wrong.
I've noticed you're not agreeing with Nomad.
Yeah.
You agree with Lizard, you agree with Theben.
His-
Nomad, nah.
His head gets too big.
Radiant
That's the problem.
structures are fortified.
And Saberlight already sitting at 2,600 gold. He is second on the net worth, only behind the Monkey King at the moment. Doing a really good job up to this point.
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they're going to pressure the tier 1, it looks.
Nah, they're just chilling. They have earn charges on the Mirana as well. Remember, so if they do have a kill opportunity, they have that little bit of extra damage coming through from where they got the first blood before. Bit of slow game
Brile
though.
into the jungle. Definitely not as aggressive as I thought, and I think that one rotation that came out from Mira that ended in him dying stops him from going mid, and I don't think that they believe in the fact that they can go bottom and get a kill either, so all of a sudden you've got a pretty stationary Spirit Breaker. They're making... they have one stack on the big camp here in the triangle, but that's it.
Yeah, and it feels awful with these heroes like Spirit Breaker and Earth Spirit, where you don't really have kill potential in lanes. Like this Klink's not a great hero for like rotating with onto, right?
Radiant are
And in the top lane, like Venge is, yeah, it's a good lane, like a killing hero to play with, but against the Monkey King and the Omni Knight, that kill threat just isn't really existent. Here comes the Lycanol.
Saberlight going to the shapeshift, going to look over at Yotaro. They've got the charge coming in on a Dubu. Arrow flies through, doesn't land. They've locked Miposhka in the corner. They've also got the help from Moomiander to get that Star Storm, find themselves a kill on the Ancient Apparition. Yotaro will time walk into the trees even further away from the Lycan Wolves.
Mira's coming
As they
in.
cut this creep wave and coming all the way over to Dubu, who TP's out, and then he actually charges back and hits Saberlight.
Like they're probably not going to finish off the tower here, but with the catapult, they're going to get a significant amount of damage off. And because it's
Arrow
such a slow,
flies through again and misses.
yeah, because it's such a slow-paced game as well. Like just popping an ult like that on the Lycan and finding a kill, it has good value.
So far, so good. And again, you talked about it. They can't really stop Tomato, who was the birthday boy yesterday, now looking for his birthday wish of a victory for this BO3. So
Yeah,
if you can lock that down.
Did you see the picture they put on Twitter, Undying? Celebrating Tomato's birthday? I thought that was nice. Because obviously they're at boot camp now, so...
Wonder how the cake was. The pastries in Romania are delicious, if that's where they're at.
I have no idea where they are, actually. Edict getting some chip damage on the tier 1, and it forces these rotations over. They has to TP.
And again, that's leaving Saberlight bottom to continue to push on in. He's got that Helm of the Dominator He has the Hellbear Smasher. They'll get themselves the tier 1 bot, and this is just a quick tower for them 9 minutes into the game with really no pressure being felt from Team Spirit at all.
But where does their lane pressure come from? Like, they have these heroes, the like greedy cores in like the Void, the Clinks that both need a bit of time. Like, even Venge isn't really a great hero before the Axe comes online. Like, you hit that big timing when it does, but before that, yeah, not fantastic.
Right.
So who's gonna alleviate the pressure on the map, especially against this Lycan? And this is what Nomad was saying in the draft, which I actually agree with. I do agree with Nomad that Undying are the ones that are going to force the tempo of this game with the Lycan pick. They recognise the greed from Spirit. So
while following Mira around, they know exactly where this Spirit Breaker is. You're going to look towards mid again with Moomiander making the rotation, popping that shapeshift, looking to get maybe Miposhka and a +1. It should at least find Miposhka. Mira charges into this one, and now Miposhka is low. He ends up dead. Mira in forward, but Collapse is there to help out. Toronto Tokyo maybe looking to get a kill on a Dubu, but he's working with the Heavenly Grace as well as the Purification, and Moomiander being right there. They'll place down an Obs on the high ground, and the Burning Barrage will allow Team Spirit to get their first kill in the game, and they're looking for Moomiander, but Tomato ready with the Balanced Strike to stop that charge in his tracks, but they've got the spot to have the Magic Missile. Maybe look for the Wukongs, but Collapse with the Quelling Blade stuns up Tomato. That allows them to get Moomiander, and now Collapse. He's still fighting against Saberlight and Tomato, but they don't have the lockdown to get this kill onto the Venge. Well done there by Collapse to secure that kill, and Mira
so low.
Oh, Balanced Strike is available, but
oh, and they found the...
Oh, Mira ends up getting killed, and now they found Yatoro. That is not the +1 they want to give up, and Bryle with a double kill.
I can't believe they've managed 100-0 the Void. Like, we talked about their lack of catch. I didn't think that was going to happen at like 10 minutes into the game. Really impressive. And Spirit, they go from having this really good fight to all of a sudden, 2 of their heroes die, just out of nowhere.
That was a good fight to start there for Team Spirit, but then it ends up with Mira as well as Yatoro falling, and you just can't be giving up kills like that.
They did get the deny on Team Spirit as well, so that's something. They really need to try and get this mid-tier 1 and Undying next. That's the next big objective. It's so much harder to take, and yes, they have the Lesh Edict and things, but they need to win a fight before, really.
Right. And right now, Bryle's going into the Yule's Moomiander. He is going into the Lotus Orb, so he's gone. Boots Urn has no charges right now on the Urn, but he's going into the Lotus Orb afterwards. A 4-man smoke from Team Spirit. They do have Chrono to work with. No Maelstrom yet for Yatoro, but he does have that Javelin. They're going to try and make a move potentially on a Bryle, but they'll get the charge on the Moomiander all the way through and committing, but... well, now, with that kind of breaking the smoke, Yatoro being found out, they're not going to make the move and throw the Chrono down onto the side of Team Undying.
Collapse has to be a bit careful here. The Wolves are going to give vision as well. They're all heading... I think Collapse is in a bit of trouble here.
Especially with the Yules completed for Bryle, they're going to go to the Moonlight Shadow to try and charge in to save the life of Collapse. Ice Blast coming in. That's going to land on a 2. But do they have any follow-up to this? If they had some damage, maybe that could have gone better for them. They end up losing Collapse. Mira's next to fall with this zoo of Saberlight chasing. Toronto Tokyo is here to potentially protect Miposhka, but they just won't chase far enough for him to take advantage of potentially an out position from Undying. Very well done there, and very disciplined by Undying not to chase too far out.
Yeah, and here's the tier 1 push that we were talking about before. The zoo still very much open, even though the summer's coming to an end.
True. Favorite animal in the zoo is usually like an otter. I think those guys are pretty cool.
Is that the animal you relate to the most?
No, red pandas are.
Oh,
that's actually my favorite animal.
Love red pandas.
So, Team Spirit, they set up on mid trying to get a tier 1 tower. Saberlight does not have the shapeshift for 60 seconds, but again, they can work with the Balanced Strike into an arrow and make something happen, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They've got the Starstorm. There's the swap into the charge, going through on a Moomiander.
Good Chrono.
3-man Chrono. Guardian Angel comes in a little bit late, but they've got the Ice Blast hitting on both the Leshrac as well as the as well as the Lycan, but they end up losing Mira. Yatoro dies after the Chrono runs out. The Ice Blast not going to be enough, and they're going to Primal Spring right onto Miposhka. Not one, not two, but three, and a double kill here for Bryle, leading to a tier 1 tower mid, potentially more. Toronto Tokyo as well as Collapse are running. They just don't really have the lockdown or the catch to get on top of Collapse.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They can't collapse on his position.
I mean, great Chrono that comes through from Team Spirit, but when the Omni ult gets popped at the same time, they have no follow-up damage apart from the AA ult, and it's just not enough against these tanky heroes. Like, the Clinks had to back off because he was so low already from the Mirana and the Monkey King initiation. And without the Clinks damage into the Chronosphere, they just can't finish anybody off.
If Clinks was able to stand his ground there, it might have worked out a little bit better for them. He does output quite a bit of damage with the Burning Barrage. But like you said, he's got to back up. And it's a well-placed Ice Blast. You just need follow-up to it. It's not a spell that's going to get anything done on its own.
Yeah, but with the Guardian Angel as well, like even if the Clinks had been there, maybe it wouldn't have been enough anyway, right? Like, it's a tough call. Oh, they can't stop the charge.
Oh, they've got the Yules. That's Moon Meander providing the vision for the Yules of Bryle, and Bryle with another one. I know they lost that last series yesterday, but Bryle is certainly having himself a good run so far. They've got the swap, and that puts Miposhka into death. He'll throw an Ice Blast, and he's trying to understand, how did I get here?
Yeah, going back to Bryle quickly, I think his Storm performance in game 1 yesterday, I think was really strong. That was the performance that really impressed me. But they get a tower on Spirit, so definitely not out of the game yet. They have the double Maelstrom on their 2 big cores, so they are farming at an okay speed.
Right.
But they're smoked up again here on Undying. Oh my god.
Sorry, dust.
And this is the problem with smoking in this is the problem with smoking at nighttime, though, right? Where normally you want to use your smokes at the day, so when the smoke pops, you instantly see somebody. Either that, or you smoke towards your vision and you put a ward down. Because otherwise, that's exactly what happens. The smoke pops and you don't necessarily see them straight away, so it gives the enemy time to react.
It gives the enemy time to react, and then Undying, they come up empty-handed. They almost actually hit that arrow on Yatoro going through the Roche pit. Or near it. So, Moon Meander will have the Ring of Health coming out as he continues to build towards this Lotus Orb. And we really haven't even talked about Tomato that much, who's been pretty much ignored. He's 0-4. He's got the Echo Saber. And I believe he's got Deso coming out.
Right, okay.
Deso going into an Orb of Corrosion, going back for that orb.
Yeah, with the Helm of the Overlord here as well, they're in a really strong item timing position. They might catch Yatoro on the way back here.
He's going to try and TP back towards mid, which is right where Dubu and Saberlight are pushing. Primal Spring, Boundless Strike coming through on Amira. He'll charge towards the creeps north, but Moon Meander's here and won't land that arrow, but they still have the Yules. They have the control. They'll get yet another kill.
Oh, Saberlight?
He's trying to peek a Roche. Ice Blast comes in, Miposhka leads him, gets the kill. I'm not certain what he's doing by himself, but the Balance Strike comes in and a collapse, and they might be able to get the kill on the Venge. At least one in return. The Urn's on him, and now they've got the Magic Missile that locks up Moon Meander, but he's under the Shroud of the Moonlight Shadow. They've got the swap anyway because the Axe has been finished by Collapse, so they still get the kill on the Moon Meander.
I don't think he was trying to sneak a Roche on Lycan. I think he was just... He's like, yeah, guys, we got the kill onto Mira, we killed the Spirit Breaker, we take Roche so quickly with the Deso on our Monkey King and like the Howl and everything as well. If you guys just head over to the pit, we'll just take it now. And Team Spirit, they punished them before the rest of the team was able to link up with the Lycan. Just a little bit sloppy by Undying there. Team Spirit do well to capitalize. With the DD bottled on the Clinks as well, they're only got a pretty good spot.
Ooh, charge coming in because Toronto Tokyo led to having vision on a Saberlight right as he TP'd into the tier 2. He's dead again. Wow. Really well done there by Team Spirit as they're starting to claw their way back into the game. Not that they were too far out of it or anything, but
Radiant are scanning.
they're taking advantage of a couple of good pickoffs there. And now they're the ones in Roche.
Do they take it quickly enough, though? Arrow's going to come through.
It's Mira. They know that they're in there, and Collapse, again, we've seen this before. He doesn't care if he dies to Roche, but they've got the swap coming through on a Bryon. They've got the Ice Blast to follow it up, and the Yule's up into the air. They get the kill to Collapse. Now they've got the Chrono with the Balance Strike. Yatoro! Ooh, he almost dies there. Still falls to Tomato. That was not great from Spirit.
You saw that damage from the Deso there on the Void. It's not great for Spirit, and they've used Chrono here as well, so when the Lesh is back up again, I think Undying can force the Roche.
Dire's bottom tower.
Because without their big team fight spell, I don't think that Team Spirit should be able to contest this.
Gonna go in with a charge, but that's not gonna
that's-
end well. They've got the swap coming out from the Collapse Illusion, but that's gonna lead Saberlight closer, and well, Miposhka, he'll end up dead. 4 heroes gone here on the side of Spirit. They're gonna buy back on the Ancient Apparition. He's got Ice Blast available in 13 seconds. But Roche is not going to last long, and I don't know if there's really any way that they get into this. They're going to try and send Collapse over, but he is just not in time.
Too late. But again, I'm surprised they tried to contest in the first place, because I think without the Chrono...
Oh, Bryle again! Swap. Bryle might be caught. Look for the stun, but it's not going to land. They'll get the kill to Collapse, but they still have the Illusion. Can the Illusion do anything? They'll get the kill to Bryle already, and he's trying to swap his way out, but Tomato, he's in deep. They've got Mira going to the charge, but the Heavenly Grace, that charge and that hit only lasts for a second. The Balance Strike lands on a Miposhka, and they will get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition. Meanwhile, Toronto Tokyo, he's been dusted.
Oh, he ate the creep. Arrow!
That is an arrow coming in, and the damage is there. Tomato with another kill. He's got a double. They'll take out Toronto Tokyo.
Really nice play by the Clinks there. I thought Toronto Tokyo was going to get out when he eats the only stun and just tries to TP away, but good arrow timing by Mumi Under. Yeah, comes just in time. And what an action-packed game.
For Undying.
29 kills in 21 minutes.
Well, the drafts were described as real divide.
We do love some real divide drafts. I will say though, double death, double back-to-back deaths from Bryle. Like he was, you know, without those 2 deaths, he would have been 10-0 and 3. But all of a sudden, he dies twice in a row, and his net worth is—he's in 3rd. Like he's been, first of all, leading for the whole game.
Ooh, swap out onto Tomato. Tomato with the Ice Blast. Now he's trying to run. He does have that Aegis, so he's not technically dead for the first time in this game. He's 3-0-8 for the moment. He's going to be back up in 3 seconds. They don't have Chrono for the moment. Yatoro has it in 5 seconds, but now they're going to look as the charge comes out. Tomato trying to get the Wukong's command off. Now feints it once again. Fade grenade thrown over on a Saberlight. Toronto Tokyo getting back the rest of his team.
Look at the positioning of this Venge. Like with this axe, you just don't care. You just run in and you hunt.
They do take the Aegis out of the hands of Tomato, and Undying back off from that.
Yeah, nice recognition by Spirit though, that they see the Lesh in the top lane. They're like, guys, there's no Lesh here. Like, what are we scared of?
Ooh, double damage is going to be picked up for Team Spirit too. They've got the charge coming out of the Saberlight. Tomato coming over. He can't hit a balance strike to hit and stop Mira. The arrow comes in. That lands on a collapse. They've got themselves Saberlight caught for a second, who will pig pull himself trying to run, and the movement speed is actually enough to get him out.
Yeah, the arrow ends up being enough to stop the Venge stun coming through. It's just in time.
Is under attack.
Silver Amulet. There for the Faceless Void. And still Undying holding onto a 6k lead, but you can kind of feel it teetering on the edge a little bit.
Oh, for sure. It doesn't feel like they have this big of a net worth lead, right? Like, this Venge is being such a nuisance. Get the swap off.
Ooh. And now they've got the Ice Blast coming in on a Dubu. Swaps there, but Collapse is dead. Balance Strike, not going to land. They'll still go after the Illusion. Swap once more. Primal Spring down, and the Illusion is wiped out. So Collapse will actually be dead this time.
Not dead, but he's actually dead.
Yeah. Just like Brain, dead. Or double brain, or whatever the panel likes to say.
I really want to think you make the most of this on Undying. Like, they should be able to get this mid-tier 2, I'd imagine. especially with the zoo, with the edict.
You'd like to hope, but Venge is only dead for 17 more seconds.
Yeah,
and they don't want to pay too much for the tier 2, but they're right on top of Maposhka. He'll get the cold feet out on a Tomato. Toronto Tokyo moving forward. The tier 2 goes down. How much do Undying want to pressure? I don't really think they should feel comfortable going onto the high ground, but they will clean up the creep wave.
Yeah. Oh, well, they see the bounty ring get taken, but no detection for Toronto Tokyo.
Swap. Tomato pops the BKB, and now they've got the balance strike coming into the collapse. And here comes the shapeshift. Magic missile thrown. Collapse is going to lose his first life this time and still have the illusion. It forces the BKB of Tomato. However, he still survives and will walk away. They get the Lotus Orb finish on Moon Meander, and it goes from 6k to 9k in favor of Undying.
I'm surprised he's not going for a Skadi on the Monkey King next as well. Actually has Basher queued up, and I know they have a lack of catch and whatnot, but the slow is very strong against the Void and the Clinks and everything, so... And not only that, but also the survivability from the stats against the Chrono. Obviously very strong. So I could see him go Basher, then go back for the Skadi. But we'll see. That's an Aeon disc on Dubu. Jesus.
And he's got a decent chunk of farm right now.
Just as Brown Boots Aeon disc. Like, sure.
Oh. Toronto Tokyo catching some vision on these heroes. God. Picks up the Skadi as he's under 4 heroes. They're going to charge into Dubu, but do they want to fight this?
He saw Monkey King like spamming Boundless as well. He's like, oh my god, do they see me?
Do they see me? Oh my gosh.
Top tower is under attack.
So it's a party bottom, but Yatoro, well,
I think
he gives the Irish goodbye and goes top. Ooh, Toronto Tokyo, not gonna be caught just yet. They did get the dust though.
I mean, that hero is so fast.
Are they gonna look for a swap? They might. Saberlight spotted. Do they have the damage if they want to go for this?
These wolves giving so much information.
They back up onto the high ground. They just can't stick with it for the moment. It's letting out to a farm. He's got Echo Saber, Maelstrom going into the BKB, and he's almost got enough gold for the Mithril Hammer, or almost has enough gold, I believe, for the recipe, which he's gonna then disassemble the Echo Saber and finish the BKB. So he's got it. So now that he's got that BKB, I wonder if they look like they want to set for a smoke.
I think
and go.
Might not be the best smoke though, because the wolf just saw loads of these heroes all together. So Undying are going to know they're looking for something potentially. They just want to hold their high ground, really. I think second Roche is going to be the big one here. Minimum respawn time not hit yet, but already looking towards it.
That's still a minute away. Meander has the Moonlight Shadow ready to go. He's going into Yules after finishing off the Lotus Orb and having that urn. Only one charge available on it. Charge through on mid, and well, nobody's there to punish.
I think the Lotus against the Venge obviously has so much value, but I thought he would go for the Yules before the Lotus.
They're gonna shapeshift.
Okay. Maybe thinking they could catch the Clinks. That boy's speedy.
I don't really find anything just yet. Now they're looking, they've got the Heavenly Grace, and oh god, Maposhka just gets ripped to shreds. The wolf was hungry to chew on some ice.
Oh, swapping the mid lane on the Lotus ends up not working. Morana, Mumianda absolutely fine for now.
Mano's got a double damage, and I don't think you want to fight into that. Again, Yatoro, though, up towards top. He's looking to get that Echo Saber back.
Toei, pretty poor, has to be said, but they haven't had much of the map to work with, so you can understand why.
Finally an Ags, though, on Spirit Breaker. He's got that upgrade to the charge. They've got a minute and 20 seconds until Roche will respawn. That's going to be Aegis as well as the Shard. And And charge coming all the way through, but eventually the Yules will be used by Bryle. And now they want to set it up with the Balance Strike as well as the stun. They've got the swap from Collapse as well as the Magic Missile. The damage from the Burning Barrage on a Moomiander. He leaps onto the low ground, but they've got the charge coming in again from Mira. Ice Blast on him. There it is. It lands. They'll get the kill on a Moomiander. Now they want to look for more. The Guardian Angel was popped pretty early. The Balance Strike comes in and a Collapse. Saberlight thinking about jumping through with the Shapeshift. That's exactly what he goes to, but they've already taken out this Thunderhide. Saberlight on the run. And the rest of Undying will follow him in retreat.
Yeah, good poking and prodding from Spirit. They get rewarded for their work as well with the Morana kill. Like, these charges are just constantly coming out now. And the Venge is positioned so aggressively that they have information.
They have the information. They're trying to use it. Down about 10,000. It's a little bit tough. Mira's not exactly the strongest hero, and he is charging in right now. It is a bit tough for him.
Now, he's pretty tanky. He has 2,000 HP without any actual strength items, right? Like, apart from the Ags, so...
It's just dangerous. As we saw, he got stunned from Bryle and hit with the Balance Strike, and he was down to half health real quick.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, like, you charge in, you disengage, you wait, and you just go in again with another charge.
Yeah.
Because the charge cooldown's so low. Like, the window for you to die after you've charged is so small. You just run away with the phase boots and the bulldoze.
Just buying time for Yatoro to farm up. He's at least trying to. They've got Roche available. Both teams will see if someone can grab it. They've got the shard picked up on Maposhka. Maybe Yatoro wants to get himself a shard.
I think you can see the problem in the last few fights, though, right? That the lack of catches coming back to hurt them on Undying. Like, they're popping their Lycan ult and everything, and they want to be able to run in, but it's so awkward that they can't initiate fights.
Yeah, right now Spirit are allowed to just kind of poke and prod and find their way in and out. The Wolf is down. That's spotting them vision. Now they're going to go to the Primal Spring. The Balance Strike is going to hit onto this Spirit Breaker, but he's got the Bulldoze, so the extra status resistance will help him stay alive for the moment. And another Shapeshift used by Saberlight. Undying, you're talking about it as it's happening. The lack of catch is hurting them.
Yeah, they even land a decent arrow on the Spirit Breaker, but there's no follow-up. Like,
Swap, Lotus Orb, that's going to be used. Well done there by Moomiander. And do they want to come into the high ground? That's going to be a Magic Missile thrown over onto a Wolf. The charge goes to the back line, looking over at Saberlight. The Burning Barrage is coming through as well as the Ice Blast. That's going to hit onto Saberlight. Do they have the damage to get the kill onto the like? And they look over Yatoro! He's gone, so is Collapse! They collapsed on both these heroes while the rest of the team was going for Saberlight.
yeah, Spirit playing kind of two separate fights where the Venge and the Void are kind of like on the high ground by themselves, and then the other three are down on the low ground, like charging the Lycan and things. I think when they look really strong when they've been a big unit on Spirit, right? And you can't just run into them. But Undying find a way of separating them apart. And this Monkey King, if he's able to click people, he does so much damage. Like, especially with the Basher as well. Did he just pick up the 8? Or did he pick up the Shard?
He picked up the Shard. Monkey King's now got the Shard, the upgrade on Mischief.
I thought he just went back into the pit to pick up the Aegis for a sec. I was, Jesus. And extending their lead ever further, Undying.
Certainly so.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's
Yeah, I'd say
Saberlight's now got that AC too.
I'd say 75-80% is about right on the win probability here for Undying as well.
Ooh, Mira might be
gem.
We've got the Yules, they'll have the Sun, and the charge away.
Boundless.
Ooh, Tomato showing up, and now Mira needs to run.
Charge will be back
Wolves
up again
coming in, and Saberlight will get that kill.
I don't know if did they see the gem there? I don't think they did. Yeah, the courier's gonna go out and try and find it.
The time.
Ooh, Maposhka. His courier is probably spotted here and gets hit once, gets hit twice.
And yeah, they're probably gonna know the gem's there now, I assume.
Yeah, he picked it up immediately.
So, courier tries to be a help, ends up telling them that there's a gem there. It's a bit unfortunate.
Instead of picking up the gem, it ends up being a narc, telling them where the gem is.
Well, at least the courier died. Snitches get stitches, speak up. That's the...
Ag's picked up for the Clinks. So now he's got the Burning Army to work with. A Burning Army to defend the high ground might be what it takes to defend, but they are down 17,000 gold.
Yeah, I mean, Spirit do have a lot of raw damage output, and that is what the Clink's Venge gives you. Nomad saying the stats before the game about their win rate. Nice D-ward by Collapse as well. Not an easy ward to find, that one.
Collapse going into his own Helm of the Overlord.
Okay, I mean, I don't mind the Vlad's effect with the Void and the Clinks, though. It's pretty good. But Team Spirit kind of just stuck in their base here, especially because of the second Aegis. Yeah. Oh, dear. I thought he was going to get one shot for a sec there, but...
He gets spared.
Never in doubt, he's fine. I will say the Lotuses from Moon Meander as well, cancelling the swaps, have been a big hindrance to Spirits so far. Like where they want to swap somebody in and like blow them up to take a numbers fight. I haven't been able to find that so far because of the Lotuses. Low tie.
Low toxin.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Alright.
We call it a murder of Lotus Orbs. Or a, as you call a bushel of bananas. It's a hand of bananas. You can call them a hand of Lotus Orbs.
Oh, there's an axe on the Lycan.
It's time to become half king, half monkey, half wolf. The numbers check out, and so does the damage.
Do you need me to draw you a diagram about halves?
No. It's right, I swear.
Sure, okay.
I did the math. I have NA education. Come on.
Oh my goodness, that movement speed. 1,283 movement speed on the Spirit Breaker. That is absurd. Oh, they're TPing in.
Illusion.
Under the Moonlight Shadow.
Toronto Tokyo will go invis and get out. Team Spirit kind of playing this, we'll wait for them to come to us game.
Well, it's so difficult for them to leave the base, though. Like, when the Aegis is down, they might feel a bit more brave, but Undying just controlling the map right now. Building up their
Just
network.
35 seconds out.
Yeah, because how do Undying push high ground? We mentioned this before. Like, you're playing into, like, this Burning Army, the Chrono AA Blast, you're playing into Swap. You can't just casually run up to the high ground.
Oh, Yatoro caught swap from Collapse. Now they've got the magic missile. The Ice Blast is going to come through. That's going to land on a Tomato. And Tomato needs to be a little bit careful. He's only got 16 seconds left on the Aegis. And now they're going to get the stun out on to at least 2 with the Chrono.
Oh, it's the Monkey Wolf.
Got the swap once again. They go over to Saberlight. Now he's going into the Shapeshift. Bryle's going to go in deep looking for this Clink. Toronto Tokyo trying to survive. Emily Grace is out on a Bryle. Bryle looking over as they've caught Toronto Tokyo. They have the control. They'll get the kill onto the Clinks. He doesn't have buyback. The Aegis is going to expire. Tomato never even losing his life. And he's half king, half wolf, half monkey as he goes into the bottom tier 3 trying...
Oh my goodness.
Strike after the stun. Then the arrow. Baboshka gone. He's just become a target. Mira. He's trying to run away, but the power... God, the Primal Spring is in on Mira. They get the kill onto the Spirit Bringer. They look over at the Faceless Void. He's trying to go and kill off Tomato, but charges out from Mira. The BKB being popped by Tomato. The stuns from Bryle really keeping them out. They get the bottom set of racks, and now they're going to look over potentially at the Ancient Apparition once again with just an arrow and a Balance Strike. But Tomato, Lotus Orb on him, as well as the Heavenly Grace. They get the Balance Strike out on a Yatoro, and now Bryle lands the stun with the Splitter. They've got the Magic Missile, but they get the kill on Yatoro, and they'll take him out for 70 seconds and move over towards mid. Tier 3 will go, looking like the racks are soon to follow. And only top will stand.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
This Murata doing so much work. I'm not sure we should be surprised.
Omni alive. Omni surviving, finally going down. They get the kill on a Collapse.
He's going to have to buy back here if they want to hold. And again,
Moves up
Murata.
into the air. Now the charge might save Maposhka, but the sun's going to be followed up. Bryle's got the Split Earth. Now the Yules up into the air. They have the Yules from Moon Meander as well as Bryle. They'll get the kill on everybody on the side of Team Spirit.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower.
Wow. And they're
There's
going to
the
call
GG call.
I mean, Spirit, they kept themselves in the game for long periods, but they never looked like they were going to win the game, right?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They were always
Yeah,
playing...
it never felt like it was tilting in their favor.
And Undying, it felt like they were always in control, but they didn't force anything ever. You know, they were quite happy to just ride the wave, wait for the right chance to happen, and they find the Void just sitting on the edge of the base. They punish him instantly. All of a sudden, 2 racks are dead, and Spirit just crumble. So, I think, Undying playing really well. Spirit maybe a little bit lackluster.